Welcome to Retirement Key Radio with Abe Abish.
In simple language, without the hype, we are going to talk about the coronavirus. It has been hyped up in the media, Abe, to the point that it makes me not want to watch or listen to anything about it. But the truth is, this pandemic, if you will, has scared Wall Street. We've had ups and downs, but some drastic downs. Lots of folks are getting nervous. In fact, before we started today's show, you were telling me a story about your neighborhood, somebody getting nervous. What happened?
Yes, so we live in Leesburg, Virginia, Kristen, and we're part of this app called Nextdoor.
Love that app.
Yeah, and it's for your local neighborhoods to know what's going on. Sometimes there's dogs and cat missing. Sometimes there's a random car parked in your neighborhood, and the neighbors kind of alert you through the app. So very cool. Well, after the market's tanking last week, a lady who had just retired or is just about to retire got onto the app. Mind you, there's hundreds, maybe thousands of people in this app, at least hundreds. And she says, "Hey, what's everybody doing with their investments?" I have, and I'm kind of laughing because it's funny to me, although it's not a funny situation.
But that she's asking a group of total strangers who may or may not be financial advisors.
Exactly. Hey, what's everybody doing with their 401k after last week's market happenings? Well, my wife Shelly sees that message, and tons of people start responding to the message. Don't sell, just stay put, never sell when the market's down, and all these things. And Shelly messaged and said, "I hope you're working with a financial professional to help you guide you through times like these, because anyone can do fine when the market's up, but man, you certainly need a financial professional to help you make smart, educated decisions when the market's down too." And she said, "Oh, I do. I'm working with my 401k rep through the company that is a custodian for my 401k. And Shelly and I both said, "Well, then why are you messaging the Nextdoor app and asking for advice from hundreds of people
that are just your neighbors,
most of which probably have no idea of what they're doing?"
And they're wondering the same thing she's wondering, frankly.
Right. So she's getting all these answers. Apparently she is working with a CFP. That's great.
Okay.
But maybe she should have a closer relationship with that CFP. What is she doing?
And by the way, that's a certified financial professional for those of you that don't know. But
exactly.
that person should be a little more on top of it, or maybe she should call and ask some questions.
So it was a little funny to me. It's not a funny situation because in 1 week, the market lost more than it ever has in a week's time. It was the quickest and fastest correction, I believe, in stock market history, and just took everybody off guard. And so, maybe the market turns around from this, and maybe it already has, maybe it doesn't. And this is just the beginning of a lot of volatility here for 2020 and beyond.
So when the market does go down, a lot of investors take that as a sign to start buying more stock. Abe, to me, it's kind of like being on sale. However, Mohammed El-Arian, the chief economic advisor at Allianz, says that is not necessarily the best move.
I would say continue to resist, as hard as that is, to simply buy the dip because it has worked in the past. I understand that the path of least resistance for this market is to bounce up, because that's what it's been conditioned to do. But I stress, this is different.
What are your thoughts on what he's saying there? Don't buy the dip.
Well, I think it could be different this time. We're conditioned as investors and savers to not make emotional decisions when it comes to the market. And the whole point and purpose of our retirement income planning, Kristen, is to get in front of all this stuff way before it happens.
Yeah, because you say we're conditioned to not emotionally react. Some of us aren't necessarily.
But it's very hard.
But if we're prepared in advance, maybe we won't let that happen. Is that what you're saying? Exactly
right. So you think that when the market tanks, the market's going to rebound. And with the way the market's been the last 10, 11 years, this has happened from time to time, days, weeks. Maybe you have a bad day or week, and all of a sudden the market roars right back. But what this gentleman is saying is that's not what always happens. I mean, look at 2008. Look at the tech bubble. Those years, the market did not roar back. It took a beating. It was hammered. And then the next year, or after 3 years in the tech bubble, the market recouped. So what he's saying is that doesn't always happen, and don't continue to follow the same type of principles and philosophies you always have just because that worked in the past. And so we just helped a couple. They live in Brunswick, Maryland, right on the border of Maryland and Virginia, over there in the western Loudoun County area. And this couple's in their mid-60s. 3 years left to retire, and we just helped them. And man, it was perfect timing because we got ahead of this market downturn. And our whole premise and reasoning behind what we recommended to this family was, let's get in front of this. The last 12 years, almost, the market's been pretty much straight up. We've had phenomenal historic all-time growth. We do know the markets go up and down. It's natural and normal for the markets to do that. Let's get in front of this. So they have about $800,000. And what we found is he is a government employee that's been working for the government for 35 years, retiring in 3 years.
Wow.
And he has about $500,000 in his TSP, and the rest of the monies are elsewhere in 401ks and IRAs. And what we found in his TSP is that the large majority of his TSP was in the G and the F funds.
Okay.
And with the 10-year treasury yield down being now at an all-time historic low, just over 1%, the G fund and safer monies like CDs and money market rates and checking and savings rates, they're going to go down, especially if the Federal Reserve lowers rates. So my point is, safe money rates and interest and yields are going down. It's going to make it tougher for savers to earn more on their safe monies. And with the market being so volatile, where do you go?
Right.
So what we recommended for them are middle ground solutions and strategies right in between what a treasury and a CD is going to offer and right in between what the stock market's going to offer.
Okay.
And they love that because now they have what we call a G and F fund on steroids, or a CD type of investment on steroids, with the safety that they're looking for, but with much better upside growth potential to complement the risk they're taking in the market.
A lot of people right now are looking for protection because we've had this recent volatility. Having said that, Abe, have you had a lot of folks calling you asking what's happening with their retirement income plan?
Our clients know, but our prospective clients a lot have been reaching out. Hey, should I sell? Should I do this now? Should I wait it out? And my whole point to them and to everybody we've been talking to and with is that this is exactly why we do what we do. This is exactly what I recommended to you in the first place. This is why, so that you don't have to be in a position like this, wondering if you should sell, if you should stay in. Let's get in front of all these events that we can't control in the market, because we do know the market goes up and down. It will for the rest of your life. But man, when you are just about to retire and just into retirement, the last thing you want is the market to go backwards on you as you're pulling money out of your portfolios for the first time in your life.
It's interesting that your current clients are not calling because they're nervous, but that folks that you may have met with a time or two are feeling those nerves a little bit and reaching out. Is the general consensus that, I missed the boat and I shouldn't make any changes now, or I need to hurry up and make changes towards protection and growth?
Both.
Okay.
I think they're, kind of feeling like they're in a position of vulnerability. Hey, I kind of wish I may have made a decision a little bit sooner. And what do I do now? Do I sell? Do I wait it out? Do I hope it's going to rebound and recoup all of its losses from late February? And so it's not the position you want to be in. And man, the perfect time for a lot of people we're talking to right now to have done something would have been earlier this year, late last year, when the market's up 30%. And that's kind of what we've been quote unquote preaching, Kristen, on this show for years now. Get your monies, your retirement monies, in the right place before all this happens, because we know it's going to happen.
Right.
Don't wait it out and think that you're going to continue to earn 30% every year, because you're not.
And we were talking before the show, too, about how it's an event like the coronavirus, some sort of pandemic, something uncontrollable. It could be trade disagreements with another country. You never know what's going to cause things like this to happen. We can't control that. But you listening, you do have more control than you think when it comes to the future of your retirement. Abe, who listening today specifically needs to jump on finding out if they are protected properly and have the right amount of growth, and that their relationship with risk versus reward is appropriate? Who should call in and kind of get that stress test done?
Well, we almost exclusively work with people 55 to 75, Kristen. And so if you're 10 years or less away from full retirement, from those working paychecks stopping, right, and you fully retiring, and I would say especially if you are 5 years or less away which almost all of our clients are, before fully retiring and making all these crucial decisions, man, this 3 years, this 5-year period of time right before full retirement is so crucially important to get all of your monies in the right places, to get all your ducks lined up, to get all these decisions right before you retire, so that when you retire, you can cross that finish line into retirement successfully. And not only cross the finish line into retirement, but last through retirement. All these decisions will last you favorably, and your investments and insurances are all set up favorably and in the right places to last you through retirement as well.
Find out more at retirementkeyradio.com.
Financial professionals are not licensed in all 50 states. To find out if Abraham Abish is licensed in your state, please call 571-577-9968. Abish Financial Services is not affiliated with nor endorsed by the Social Security Administration or any other government agency and does not provide legal or tax advice. Annuity guarantees rely solely on the financial strength and claims-paying ability of the issuing insurance company. By contacting us, you may be provided with information about insurance and annuity products offered through Abraham Abish, NPM number 770-3575.